Hi, this is the Big Man Jones, and this is a video looking at some of my own creations in my Lego city. Hopefully it'll go some way to answering a comment on one of my previous videos asking to look at some of the fine details in my buildings. Each of the buildings counts about 2,500 to 4,000 pieces. We've got the main skyscraper here, a diner block, a city bank, a warehouse, and there's just a couple of standard sets here at the end. Okay, first of all we have a converted warehouse. So let's have a look all the way around. This was inspired by a work of Jonathan Lopez from New York, who posted some pictures of a similar kind of warehouse on Brickshelf. We've got a mix of old and new browns to give it a kind of weathered effect, showing its age. And this one has a full interior, so let's have a closer look at that. Okay, so if we look inside, we have a nice kitchen area with a cooker and ventilation hood and sink, and then over here we have a warehouse lift. So let me demonstrate. Quite rudimentary, but serves its purpose. Got some stairs down to the ground floor, and then over here we've got a sitting area and a working area, and then up here on the mezzanine level we have the bedroom. Here's just a closer look at the kitchen. So we have some drawers, the cooker with a hood, cooker door opens, there's an old letterbox there, sink with tap, and a microwave there, and a clock on the side. Here's the front view of the warehouse. You get a good view of the mottled brick effect with the old browns and new browns. You can see some sand blue, some dark grey mixed in with the old grey on the concrete facade of the door. We have a roller door there. It's quite hard to source, there's enough white slats for that. Moving around, we have a graffiti artist on this side. For those in doubt, it's supposed to spell Big Al. I'm quite proud of this. Again, it's an idea where I was inspired, this time by a member of the Brickish Association, which is the British Lego Society, and yeah, I'm pleased that I fitted it into the 3D effect of the wall there. So this is my take on the city bank in my town. There's some similarities to the modular building replaced by Lego, which is also a light blue walls on the bank there. You might have seen this under construction in my previous Lego City video. There is a roof terrace on the top. It's around 7 or 8 stories. I'll show you, I'll give it a spin. So starting with the ground floor, we have some felons here being arrested by a man of the law and his dog. I'm quite pleased with the pillars here and the dual archways set back from the pavement. There was a bit of kind of pre-thought went into that. The actual signage for the Citibank was just created with transfers, with a lack of really suitable bricks for this task. And the pavement is just a mix of colours there to give it a bit more depth. I should acknowledge at this point that some inspiration for this building came from Deco Jim on Brickshelf. He had a similar building, but mine's a smaller scale. His was about twice the size. Where it departs in my building is this tennis court on the roof, which I'm very proud of. What we have here, I had to think this through quite a lot to fit the fence around the edge, and also to source the colours for the tiles, something that mimicked an artificial court, and settled on the sand blue in the end to surround the lime green court itself. I'll also give you a look at the stairwell, which yeah, it's often annoying to see you know, roof gardens where there's no entry into the roof, which for practical purposes would be a necessity. So here we have a combination of a diner, a fire station and a row of townhouses. The diner is almost a straight copy for one that I saw on Brickshelf by J. Davis. Added a couple of extra details there, especially the signage on the roof, a sign for alcoholic beverage, which you could never obtain from a standard Lego set. The fire station is based on a real New York fire station, the Ghostbusters, the one that Ghostbusters used. This, again, I've you know, followed another builder, Jonathan Lopez, with this building, but taken my own take on that. It's smaller than his. Obviously Lego have now released Ghostbusters set of their own, which is more substantial than this, but I like my interpretation of it. You have a working set that fits in here. Unfortunately, the old roller door of the 80s, which I used, is not big enough for the size of fire tender that they use with the Lego sets these days. Moving it around so you can see the townhouse. This is something that I built with mostly from my own stash of bricks. Some standard colour of red, and the blacks and whites all commonplace colours. There's no internals really, but there is a floor, so it's possible to pose people inside the windows. One detail you might notice are the snot, stud snot on top, sort of lintels above the windows, which I'm quite pleased with. Again, this is, you know, taking ideas from the adult fans of Lego community, and yeah, it's nice to have some actual houses in my town, so all the residents of the town actually have somewhere to live. So the first building I'm going to focus on in this block is the diner. As I said, this was you know, very closely copied to a building by J. Davis, I think, on Brickshelf. The aspect I chose to add myself into this consists of lighting in the diner. So if I just click that on, this is all using standard Lego parts. And then inside the diner itself, you can see we've got a chef there, something resembling a pizza oven inside there, and yeah, we've got some happy people in the classic black and white checkered diner floor that you'd hope for. So the question I hear you asking is, I have an access hole for the button for the light, but how on earth do I change the battery when it runs out, which it inevitably will? This has all been thought of. So let me take you on a tour of the battery box. What we have here is a trapdoor access onto the roof of the diner, and it all swings up give you access to the lighting rig, which slips out easily, as you can see. This is a standard 9 volts light and sound, originally mine from the 80s, and wired up with the standard Lego wires that you'd usually find with a motor configuration or something like that. So that's how that works. Finally, there's a closer look at the firehouse. Obviously, you know, it's a bit shameful compared to the actual Lego Ghostbusters set available now, but I'm still quite proud of it. You can see the trusses, the windows. I've gone for a kind of a frosted look by using cylinders in arrays. And we've got the side entrance there. Got the sirens, obviously, for letting people when they need to clear the way for their fire engines. Some kind of satellite rig up there, probably for them to while away their hours while they're waiting for a call. And we've got a bit of an urban decay down here with a broken motorbike down the back alley there. And there's a side view of the townhouse. Okay, so finally we have the Skyscraper, which started all this off. This was the first thing I made after my dark ages, fulfilling an idea that was in my head as a kid, but I could never realise because I never had the bricks and only ever got to basically the first floor, and was made before I discovered Brickshelf or before Lego Factory existed, so it was just fortunate that Lego sold packets of white blocks and black blocks, and the rest just came from my my stash as a kid. So this amounts to 19 stories, I believe. And it's kind of deco inspired. Let's take a closer look. We have the lobby area with some cabs outside, it's sort of New York deco at that. Inside you'll be able to see the Technic superstructure. It supports the inside. One of the most kind of commented on things is the Coke advert on the sign. Again, it's something else that's been inspired by other people, but just did by sight with my old collection of pieces. Have a cafe here. Move into the back. The pattern's repeated, but with red as a lead colour. See the restaurant inside. And another cafe on the terrace on the 7th floor here. So you have some details. Phone booth at the side. And it goes right to a spire at the top. You'll notice the flags are all consistent wind direction. And yeah, this makes it about 20 floors with the spire, I'd say. So that's got to be some kind of record. Finally, we'll have a look inside the restaurant on the 19th floor. And here you can see our guests. Obviously some of the guys are taking a good look at the beautiful view outside, but everybody's having a good time. Stay tuned. I hope to add to the city in the not too distant future, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask.